Hey guys, welcome back here to Intuitive Angling, and hope everybody's having a good day, and appreciate you guys swinging by the channel. Guys, I am out for some revenge today. I'm gonna explain to you guys what's going on. Something happened 2 weeks ago that I'm gonna try to take care of today, so we're gonna get into that in today's video here. Also guys, thank you very much for everybody that joined Kim and I last night for our Intuitive Angling live stream. Had a great time out there, had some good interactions with everybody. I'm doing these live streams like once a week, once every other week, something like that. This is a live stream I put for my Intuitive Angling channel members and Patreon members. A good chance to talk about a bunch of stuff we can't really talk about on the main channel. So if you're interested, guys, in joining the live streams we're doing every, regularly, along with all the other perks that come with being a channel member, you can become a channel member just by, when you click on my video, you'll see the little join button. Just push that join button for information, or go into any of my video descriptions and sign up as a Patreon member. So appreciate that. And also guys, once more, thank you for all the support, all the people that's been subscribing to the channel. And a big thank you guys, a big thank you to everybody that's been using and bookmarking my Tackle Warehouse link that I put in every video description for your tackle and fishing gear purchases. If you're one of the viewers that do that, me and my family really appreciate that, and want to give you a big thanks for that. Okay guys, I am out for revenge today. I'm heading to Lake of the Ozarks right now to practice. We have our final solo pro series tournament up at Lake of the Ozarks on Sunday. I'm going to practice today and probably half a day tomorrow. And the revenge I'm after is we had a BFL tournament up there last weekend, and I zeroed in the tournament, this is ridiculous. I mean, this is like, I can't even wrap my mind around this, because the place we're launching at, it's different. Most of the time in the tournaments we fish at Lake of the Ozarks, we launch out of a ramp called Public Beach number 2, which is sort of like the mid to lower end of the lake. And I usually fish way up the lake. I like shallow water, dirty water, so I usually make a 60-70 mile run up to where I like to fish at. And in this tournament, we are launching way up the river where I usually fish at. So we're launching right on top of where I usually fish at. So, and it's not a big area. It's a small area up there. It can't stand a lot of fishing pressure. So what I tried to do last week is I tried to get away from that, during that BFL tournament. And in practice, I had I had 2 decent practice days. I caught limits both days of the tournament, and I really don't know what happened in the tournament. I guess it was timing, wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong lure. But I caught 6 or 7 fish, and I lost 2 keepers, and I wound up not catching one in the tournament. But I got a lot riding on this tournament on Sunday. This is our final tournament. They take the top 30 at the end of the year point standings to qualify next year for their main circuit, the Solo Pro Series Top 100. This is the qualifier for that. I'm in 22nd place in the point standings right now, and they take the top 30, so I got to catch some fish on Sunday. So I'm going up here to Lake of the Ozarks to try to turn it around in a big way from what I did, a week and a half ago. So here's what you sort of have to look at. Let me give you a few tips and advice on this. When you're trying to recoup from like a bad day on the water or a bad tournament like I had, you really have 2 options. You can either go back to where you thought there was a lot of fish at, and I had an area where I thought there was a lot of fish at, and readjust your approach, readjust your techniques. So, instead of fishing a jig or creature bait, you might want to go, to crankbait or spinnerbait or chatterbait. Or if you were throwing a top water, you might want to try a swim jig or something else. There's a ton of different options that could possibly work in those same areas, and you just may not have picked up on the right option. So number one, you're talking about staying in the same water, which I've got to, everything that I'm talking about, guys, this is what I'm going to do today. I'm talking out loud, giving you the advice that I'm going to give myself today. So I've got to either go back to that area where I thought that I didn't catch one in and completely go through it with a different approach. Different colors, different lure profiles, different casting angles, staying in the same water, not leaving that water, but approaching it different. That's one option. The second option you have is completely starting from scratch and going to different water. So instead of going back to the same type of areas I was fishing, go to a completely different part of the lake and maybe either use the same techniques or adjust the techniques within that water, whatever available cover you have there. That's the two decisions you have to make. The problem you have with this is you've only got a limited amount of time. So I live an hour and 20 minutes from Lake of the Ozarks. So when I get up there, by the time I drop Elijah off at school and get up there, I usually have about 5 or 6 hours to practice on a good day. That's about what I have. So I don't have a lot of time to try everything. I have to go with my best instincts, what I think is going to work, and see where the cards fall from there. But I think what I'm going to do today is I think I'm going to go back, maybe not in the same exact water, but I'm going to go back in the same vicinity of the lake that I fished last week, and I've got completely different baits on. So I'm going to try a completely different approach, and then based upon how I do today, I'll determine how I want to practice on the second day tomorrow. So I don't know, it's just one of those things, guys. In bass fishing, if you make the right decisions, you look like you're a brilliant genius hogger, and if you don't make the right decisions, you look like you're a clueless newbie. And there's a fine line, guys. There's a very fine line between catching fish and not catching fish. I can't tell you how many times that I've been fishing and I pull up to an area, like right off the bat in the morning, fish it for 2 or 3 hours without a bite and bail out on it. And then I'll talk to somebody at the weigh-in, and he says, hey, I saw you leaving right when I pulled into that area, and I wound up, whacking them in there. It could just be a timing thing or approach thing. So it's just one of those variables in fishing that makes it, the most difficult sport in the world. So anyway, guys, I'm going to head on up there, quit talking here. I'll give you guys a report this afternoon on how my day went. And hopefully by the end of this week, I will have made and qualified for the pro circuit next year, and got to check and learn something. That's the goal here. So hope you guys are doing well. We'll talk later.